Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, aka Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A game, he's been on top of his A game.
What?
When I say A game, I mean his A game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-Game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-Game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog just because I want some sleep, if you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-Game, fellas. Get your A-Game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how is everybody? Is everybody okay? Can everyone see me? Oh. Okay. Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see me. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. There we go. I think we're okay a little bit. I think we all right a little bit. Can y'all see me now? Are we still, hopefully we're not still frozen. See if you can refresh. Okay. I don't know what's been going on between, you know what, never mind. Just come on in. Well, I can't say get the likes up. Just come on in, because we got some things to talk about today. I do recognize, now that it was brought to my attention, that my show yesterday was taken down by YouTube because I had some of that interview playing. So it wasn't a copyright strike, but it was a claim, and so that video can't be shown at all unless I trim out every single part where that video is at, and it basically makes the video not make sense if I cut those chunks out. So my apologies for that. Like, I always have my stuff recorded, so maybe I'll put it on, I'll see if I can put it on Patreon. I'm not sure how to get that to you. I'll work on it. I'll work on how to get that to you, because like I said, I record everything that I do. So we're gonna go ahead and go in. Hopefully, are you okay? Do y'all hear any background noise or anything like that? I'm just making sure. Yeah, that stream was fire, wasn't it? I'm mad at that because they don't really give you too much of a notice. Sometimes they'll put it in your dashboard, but it's a little bitty spot and like, oh, your video's not being shown. I'm like, really? Hopefully that's not too much because that's a little, it's like a little mini heater that I got. Because I am so not turning on the furnace right now. I am not turning that furnace on. Alright, so we got some things to discuss. I want to apologize for the couple of minutes. You can see it was maybe a little bit of technical stuff, but anyway, we're past that. Let's go ahead and get started into the show. Say at least you found out what a gutter snipe looks like. Jersey J heard when you put black women in the title. No. But anyway. You turned yours on Wednesday. Okay, let me stop being distracted because I'm a little bit distracted by the camera stuff. All right, so this is why black women can't get no love. You get no love. Okay, you get no love because I'm really like, I've been on this whole thing with the marriage is a business talk. It's like everywhere I've gone for the past week and a couple of days, it's been this whole, well, you know, marriage is business and you know, this, that, and the third. And it's so transactional. And I know that I spoke on it a little bit before. I spoke on it a little bit before, but it's really pervasive. It's not that I didn't realize how much people thought that, but I guess over the last week, it really dawned on me just how incorrect that is, and almost just how, what's the word I'm looking for? It's part of the lost value system, I guess. Not I guess, I know. And I think we start saying it's business because money is handled within a marriage. And we get sidetracked a lot. Whenever there's a couple of dollars being passed back and forth, we get real distracted. And we start thinking in this real American capitalistic, gotta get a dollar type mindset whenever a few dollars enters the fray. I mean, that's why we think marriage is a business. Because you handle business while you're married. And then for whatever reason, we whittle it down to these transactions. It's just a series of transactions. And that is pretty much what we're going to talk about today, is the whittling down of the interaction between black men and black women down to just these interactions. And that's it. That's all that we do. And this is why there's no love. And as I speak, you're going to actually come to understand why I'm saying there is no love. Because I covered before how there was no connection. If you approach marriage as a business, then obviously there's no emotional connection to it, because we're not supposed to be emotionally connected in business. Like, that's not appropriate in business in America. The way Americans see money and business and profits and monetary transactions, things of that nature. Something that's a transaction is definitely without an emotional tie. When you go to pay your cell phone bill, that's a transaction. A lot of us have that stuff on auto pay. That's how much of a transaction it is. That's how detached we are from those things. I got my phone bill on auto pay. I don't think about that bill. I get a little text message that reminds me, oh, your bill coming up, and I don't even care. I am not emotionally attached to the payment of that phone bill, because it is a transaction. Okay, I pay the phone bill, they keep the little raggedy service up. That's the deal. The moment that phone bill can't be paid, or there's something going on with the payment process, payment system, the card, whatever the case may be, they gonna cut that phone off, and they not even gonna think about it no more. Pay the bill, we cut it back on. That is the transaction. They are not trying to say, oh, well, Kendra, we know you need your phone, so even though you didn't pay us this month, we're gonna go ahead and let you have the service just until you can get back up on your feet. They're not trying to do that. It was a whole epidemic going on. And it was a lot of places, they had them little moratoriums for rent. But it was a lot of gas folks and lights folks. It was like, you still owe us gas and light money. We not supplying you this gas and lights for free. We don't care what you call it. B19, F19, C19, 319. We don't care what it is. Don't pay it and see what happens. You see what I mean? So it's the transaction that doesn't have any emotional tie. Any emotional tie at all. And black women are having a hard time in the dating and marriage scene because of the transactions. Now, everybody in here that's grown know what the transaction is. What's the transaction? Under the lost value system, what is the transaction between men and women? Thank you, Fifth Feminist. Exactly. Interact, don't transact. Exactly. Thank you, beloved. What's the transaction? In the lost value system, thank you, my love is divine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Raw Reality. Thank you, Strange Cloud. My love said $40. Okay. The transaction under the lost value system is money for sex. If I give you money, buy you a gift, take you on a date, it can be a coffee date. Coffees at Starbucks are anywhere from $3 something, $4 something to maybe $6 or so, depending on what you got. And it'll be something as simple as that. We went out, we took 30 minutes, we went to Starbucks, you got you a venti mocha. Okay, you didn't get the grande. You see what I'm saying? You ain't getting no. You ain't get that. See, you had got the venti, the tall one, and you had got extra cream on there with the chocolate drizzle. Oh no, that was extra. That was extra. So I know that you going to give me that box, right? Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Ebo. Ebo saying, in my opinion, calling marriage a business takes away its sanctity. Marriage is more like a machine with its participants being the mechanisms. Okay, I can see that. So you had got the venti. So I know once you got that venti, that told me that I was going to be able, you know what I'm saying, to have you toot that thing up. You're going to have to toot that thing up, right? Because you got a venti. You see what I'm saying? And you got 30 minutes of my time. So toot that thing up, baby, make it raw. Like, you're going to have to toot that thing up. Thank you, Eugene Roberts. You're going to have to toot that thing up today. Not tomorrow. Not think about it. Right now, for a venti? Yes, for the venti. You should have got a grande. If you had got a grande with no cream, I wouldn't even be tripping. But a venti? What you think, you gonna take advantage of me with a venti? And it's the transaction. It's the transaction. And within this transaction, everybody's looking to get over. Under the lost value system, the women are looking to get over. How are the women looking to get over? You may ask. Thank you, Robert. Said, thank you for bringing attention to this unfortunate way of thinking. Yes, 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 yes. And you're very welcome. Thank you, username. Because we have to talk about the underbelly, right? We have to talk about the underbelly. The nuances, the different things that we don't want to talk about. Under the lost value system, everybody wants to get over in this transaction, right? She wants to get over. It's a bragging point if she can get the dates and she can get the monetary gifts, and you can, she can get the little money, a little whatever it is that she trying to, whatever material things, you know, that she can get. She feel like she got over if she was able to get that from a dude and she never had to give up no sex. That was getting over. Under the lost value system, that's getting over. Right? So she like, ooh, I got him. I was able to XYZ and I didn't have to put out. That's getting over. Now, the men are also looking to get over under the lost value system as well. I can get her to put out, and I ain't gotta so much as get a Starbucks. I don't even have to do that little bit. She don't get a date. She don't get money. She don't get nothing. But I'm able, you know what I'm saying, to get her to toot that thing up, baby, make it roll. Like, she made it roll. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't have to spend a red cent. And you got people on both sides bragging about this form of the transaction. You got women who get on social media and brag about how she done finessed the dude. She didn't have to do, you know what I'm saying, all of this, that, and the third to get no money and to get no dates and all of this sort of type of stuff. And so she'll get on social media, she'll brag, or she'll brag to her friends, girl, he's stupid. I was able to get this, that, and the third. Girl, I ain't even have to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have to do nothing. Thank you, Kendra. Says, sad how all this generation care about is material things. When those things fade over time, character is more important to me. Definitely. And so, see, you brag about it. Dudes are on social media bragging too. Man, listen, if you ain't able to finesse her out of her sex and you ain't got to spend a dime, listen, I've been getting chicks to do blah, blah, blah with me, and I was broke at the time. I ain't have no money. I was making her pay for stuff. And then she was still, you know what I'm saying, doing this, that, and the third. You know, it's all about that Mac game. It's all about that, you know, how you spitting. You know, if your mouthpiece, It's all about the mouthpiece. Like if you talk to her a certain way, she gonna do it. And you don't gotta spend nothing. You don't have to do anything. We even call it the game. We call it the game. We casually call our interaction as men and women the game. What is a game? Let's look up the definition of a game. And I'm not saying a game. I'm saying let's look up the definition of the word game. Okay, so I don't want nobody getting funny. Excuse me. And just to be real quick, to take a look at the definition of the word game, a form of play or sport, especially a competitive one, played according to rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck. The second definition, a complete episode or period of play ending in a definite result. And number 3, a type of activity or business regarded as a game. Now that first definition is very appropriate for what I'm talking about today, because I'm gonna reread it. It's a form of play or sport, especially a competitive one. Are not our interactions competitive? They competitive. And it's played according to rules decided by skill, strength, or luck. Okay? And we casually say that our interactions between each other is a game. It's a competitive thing you do for play. And when you do things for play, you're not really supposed to get too emotionally involved with it, because it's a game. And in a game, there are what? Winners and there are losers in a game. Correct? There are winners and there are losers in any game. So this is what I'm talking about when I say one is trying to finesse the other. I won. If I'm able to get a dude to be so enraptured in me that I was able to finesse him using my beauty, using my sex appeal, using all of these things at my disposal to get him to come up off of his toll and some of his time while bypassing my trouble and my threat, I won. Right? And on top of that, I didn't have to put out to make him feel better about the toll he paid. So in essence, I got something for nothing. In essence, I can get something for nothing. And this is that is like the pinnacle of the lost value system. We can get something for nothing. Thank you, Saint Germain. Everybody's looking to get a little something, and they don't have to, don't have to give up anything, or I give up as little as possible. This is one reason why a lot of black women started devaluing their sex. Let's get into that before we go to break, because this is an important point. A lot of black women started devaluing their sex. And the reason why they devalue their sex is because ladies, and the ladies know, we can't be too invested in feeling like our sex is a special thing if we're gonna be dishing it out in this transactional way. We have to almost have an emotional detachment to our sex, the process of our sex, the fact that we're vessels, all of that, women under the lost value system have to create an emotional barrier between our hearts and the sex act. And the reason that so many of us do it is because we are under the lost value system. And under that, it's a transaction. If he spends any form of time or toll, no matter how small or large, we understand that he's likely looking for sex. And so if he's looking for sex, and it's like, well, I did kind of want to spend time with him. Thank you, Strange Cloud. But I know I can't go on too many dates. And this happens even with a woman that's not trying to finesse. Even with women who aren't trying to finesse. I really want to get to know the guy. And it takes time to actually get to know this person. That's what the date is supposed to be for. The date is not supposed to be part of the transaction, because there isn't supposed to be a transaction. You understand? It's not even supposed to be one at all. The whole intention of the date was really to get to know this individual, to understand, do we even want to take stuff that far? Do we even want to go into that? Because I might get in front of you and get in your energy and we don't like each other. It was cool on the phone, and then when we sat there for that little venti that you think you gonna get it tooted up for, and we was in each other's faces like, let me hurry up. Let me hurry up and finish this venti. You be getting brain, you know what I'm saying, brain freeze, trying to hurry up because I like cold coffee. So you be getting brain freeze, and just get on up out of that, cause boy, if you don't knock it off. Thank you, Theo. So this is so sad. How do people live like this? And it's so many people that live like this. They think it's normal. Thank you, Philip. They think it's normal to live this way. We have normalized the transaction between us. We've normalized the transaction. We've said, okay, I know I can't go on too many dates or whatever, because at some point the so-called payment for the transaction is gonna come due. The bill comes due. But we're gonna get more into that when we get back. I'm gonna go to a commercial break and we will be right back.
See, wherever I go, stay ready, stay alert, always prepared for whatever. I see you. There's a seat right here. You can see from all angles. I'm ready. It's time to get down to business. Game time.
Hi, honey. I know you just made it to the library, but love of my life, my hero, my lion, you forgot your A game. So come home, take it, and then you can go and conquer the world, black man. Oh, and one more thing. Would it kill you to just wear some socks? I'm just saying. Love you. And can you bring home some milk?
Oh, man. She's killing me. Okay, I'll go back. I'm gonna get my A game. I'm not putting them socks on. I'm good. I'm fly. I'm fresh. I'ma stop at 7-Eleven to get some milk.
Okay, so we're back. So we can talk about the transaction, okay? And how it's not supposed to be a transaction. Now, before I really go on, we gotta bam, 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 bam. We gotta get the likes up, bam, bam. We gotta Come on, get the likes up, everybody. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. $529 people, 384 likes. Come on. Like button. I did the thumb dance. Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's get back to it. The reason why I named this is Black women can't get no love is because of the transaction. It's because of the transaction. The transaction prevents any form of love to be developed, because love is a spiritual value. Because love is spiritual, right? Love is something that happens in the heart. Love is something that happens or should happen organically between two people. There should be a love that develops between them. But under the lost value system, the spiritual value doesn't have any truth. There's no truth in the transaction. There's nothing true in the transaction. We can cover it up. This is why when I talked about Brittany Renner, this is why I told everybody what she was doing. What she did with PJ Washington was the transaction. She just tried to cover it up with a little gaslighting as if there were emotions attached to that. Oh, I love you. I don't love you. I'm lying. There's no truth in that. I'm lying to you about that. Okay? We lie to each other. Oh, I'm really feeling you. I'm taking you out because I'm really feeling you. Knowing full and well, I'm spending this money and I'm counting it because after we get to a certain threshold, I'm looking for sex from you. And the woman is doing the same. Listen, you're spending money on me and I'm counting it, and I'm going to push it to whichever threshold that I can until I feel as though the completion of the transaction is inevitable, and then I'm probably going to ghost you or something like that, so that I don't have to fulfill my end of the unspoken understanding of the transaction, because both of us are under the lost value system. So both of us are doing this transaction this way. There is no love in it. And there's no truth in it. There's also no trust in it. No trust in the transaction. Because when a chick comes with a guy and she's trying to quote unquote get to know him and go out on dates, he has to assume that she's here for the transaction, not for him. See, he has to actually discern whether or not she's smiling and hey, okay, and doing all of that because she like him, or is she doing all of that because she gaslighting him so she could get taken out a couple of times. See, he actually has to discern that. There's no trust there. He can't trust her outward appearance. He can't trust the first thing that she does. You see what I'm saying? He can't trust that. Similarly, a woman can't necessarily trust that he's taking her out because he likes her. She gotta try to think about the fact that he's probably counting that money, because in another couple of times, if not tonight, he's gonna want sex. And if I'm not a complete whore, I gotta think about that. I don't necessarily want, because it all goes awry when she's not really attracted like that, right? It's like, I don't want to do that. And you got two types of women. You got women who will just kind of fade away because I'm really not feeling you like that. We went out a couple of times, but listen, beloved, you ain't the business, okay? Thank you, Phineas. I think things start out too serious towards sex from saying hello. Dating should not be that serious. Transactionism just make people who are promiscuous feel better. Things just start out wrong from the start. Okay. Hey, Mosaic, how you doing, beloved? So if she's not just whoring around, like I said, it's two kinds of women. I just fade out because I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep going in this direction because I don't want to have sex with you. Or you get the chick that's in it, she just gonna start finessing. I don't want to have sex with you, and I'm not, but I am gonna push the envelope just to see how much you do. And when I feel like I can't get more out of it, I'll just ghost you, or I'll cuss you out, or whatever. Whatever I gotta do to get out of to make you stop calling me or whatever, then that's what we gonna do. And then, wait a minute, you got a third category. I forgot. The one that will go ahead and do it, but she be like, I ain't want to do this transaction, but we have went on a few days. He did spend, I don't, man, all right, let's just go. Let's just go. But there's no love in it. There's no trust because there's no spiritual value, because there's no connection. Thank you, 39. There's no connection. Under the lost value system, spiritual means no truth. And it's the lowest one on the totem pole. It's this big. So there can be no love developed through the transaction. And black women, we have to start looking at the fact that we're dealing in the transaction so much that there is no way that you can find the love that you want, or that you say that you want. You can't find that love, because no matter if you're some type of porn star in bed, it doesn't matter. Sex doesn't make men love you. They don't, and it doesn't make them marry you. It doesn't. Men still marry for love. Men still do that. Even if they're kind of caught up in the lost value system, men will still marry for love. It's the women that be like, it's the transaction either way. And you can't get the love because you keep approaching the interaction between yourself and men in this business. It's just, I'm in it for the money. And I toot it up just because I know it's the transaction. But listen, I'm trying to get this money, and you know what I'm saying? Like, constantly approaching things in that manner, it erases love. It erases love. It takes love right out of the picture. Because at no point do you become trustworthy? Because men love you, and the men can correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, men. Men love you, but that's kind of the trust factor too. You know what I mean? Like, he gotta trust your reasoning for even being over here. He can't be thinking that you're in the transaction still, or ever. You were ever in the transaction. He don't want to marry you if you were ever in the transactional thought pattern. Because if you're in the transactional thought pattern, you're not going to come out of that. It's always going to be the transaction. It's always going to be the transaction. This is why money be the problem with the marriages, whether he got money or not. Because at some point, you don't like the transaction. And when you, talking to you black women, when you don't like the transaction, you start getting goofy. You start getting goofy. You start making problems and being mad. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you mad. And it can't get right. You know, he be trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with you? You know, well, do we need to talk, or, you know, well, what's going on? I mean, I don't know. You do know. Somewhere along the line, you don't like the transaction. That's because you came to him with the transaction in mind, which precludes all emotional connection. That precludes the connection. He knows that if you come to him in the transaction, you're never gonna love him. And you're not gonna respect him. Let's just call a thing a thing. Men can tell me if I'm right or wrong. You came in with the transaction. You ain't never gonna stop doing that. He know I'm not gonna get no love from her. She's not gonna have a sudden epiphany, okay, about loving me. Boop. You know, somebody asked a question in the chat that I think the answer fits to today's show. Fine Womanhood asked, why is it so hard for genuine people to find each other? I think the answer is in what we're talking about today, Fine Womanhood. I think the answer is because a lot of us are gun shy and shell shocked. So many people are under the lost value system that the trust is severely damaged. We must find people who are living under the 10 life values. We have to find people that are living under the 10 life values to match up with us. Because we cannot match up with people if we're the type of person that's living under the 10 life values, where you deal in your internal values first and then you deal in your external values. Or at least you get them together on some level. You absolutely cannot deal with a person who's living their life under the lost value system. There is just a complete non-compatibility here. Even if the personalities somewhat match, when that value system don't match up, that really be the failure of these relationships. When them value systems don't line up. That's really what it is. And I think that the answer to your question, beloved, really falls under that discernment that we have to have with each other. We have to vet each other based on which value system are you subscribing to? And we really gotta ask people that. You know, and we have to really take a look at how people are moving in their life. It's okay to have wealth. I mean, wealth is part of the 10 life values. It's a part of it. It is number 10, which doesn't mean that it's unimportant. You can have wealth. You can have an abundance. You can have financial wealth. Definitely you can. As a matter of fact, if you follow the 10 life values and improve yourself in all of those areas, wealth should come. That should be something that is easy for you to tap into. And I'm not saying that as some type of magic thing. Like I'm saying, I'm not going to get into it. Wealth being a currency. I'm not going to get into it. But in any case, you really have to line that up. I'm hoping that I'm answering not only her question, but anybody who would have that question listening to this. Because I know a lot of times it can come off where it's kind of a doom and gloom sort of thing. But I think this is why genuine people have a little bit hard time finding one another, because we don't know what questions to ask one another. We don't know how to discern when it's a red flag or not. Sometimes there are obvious red flags, but then there's things that are subtle. You know what I mean? If there are things that are subtle, and we can capture those subtle things through ourselves practicing the 10 life values, and also seeing if that other person is also on that value system. Because again, if you're working on a 10 life value system and they're working on a lost value system, that's gonna crumble. It's definitely gonna crumble. Another question that I think is important. Janessa asks, who is wealthy that doesn't follow the lost value system? I actually know people personally who are. These people who don't follow the lost value system, but who have accumulated wealth, are usually not people in anybody's spotlight. They're not in anybody's spotlight. They are doing their thing in their circle, and they got their wealth. They're not famous. They are not world renowned. None of that stuff. They're doing their thing, and it's kind of quiet, you know, and it's like, hey, I'm living I have family members. I have blood family members who are millionaires. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. You have to go to them. You have to go to the house to see, oh, this is where you live. And then you own that property. And then you also own that property. Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. Excuse me. You know? So it's there. It's there. But typically we see people who do follow the lost value system, and they're the famous people. And you see, what happens is, that's why they put them people in front of us, Janessa. That's why they put them people in front of us, so that we can aspire to not only their wealth, but how they got there. The cutthroat, I do anything kind of way that they got there. See, they don't only just want us to aspire and crave for the money. They want us to buy in with our mindset the lost value system. Because it's kind of like a hamster wheel. Some people are gonna make it, but that only serves to give the rest of us hope that we can, even though the reality is most of us aren't going to make it. Most people are not going to be monetarily wealthy, especially following the lost value system, especially following it. But they put a few people up top. They put some black people up there. They put some black women up there to inspire the women. They put some black men up there to inspire the men, you know. Put a couple folks up there and say, see, look, you know, there's a fair structure here. You can certainly get to this level. All you got to do is not care nothing about the next person. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is cut the throat of the person next to you. And don't worry about it. Don't feel no type of way about it. Step on this one and step on that one and on your way up to the top. This is how you get to the top. Just step on everybody. Just pay no mind to how you're treating people and what's going on, people. Don't pay no mind to that. And you too will be able to climb to the top of this treacherous ladder. All for the money. You'll have the money. But by the time you get to the top of this ladder in the lost value system, you'll be an empty husk of a human being. That's the part they don't tell you. You'll be a husk. You will be a shell, a shadow of yourself. And we see how these people play out. Look at Will and Jada. Let me look up Will Smith's net worth. Let's take a quick look. Will Smith net worth. As of, don't give me no 2012 stuff. Give me 2021. Will Smith net worth is estimated as $350 million. That's enough money for anybody. Is Will Smith happy? Because if the lost value system was what they said it was, he would be somewhere clap. You know how they would have the little cartoons jump up and click their heels. He'd be doing that every time you saw him. Because under the lost value system, wealth, your monetary wealth, is supposed to get rid of all your problems. It's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you content inside. It's supposed to give you peace. Money is supposed to actually give you those internal values that you spent all that time sacrificing and not paying no attention to. Then suddenly when you get the money, then you able to go back and buy the peace and the contentment. That's why they say money can't buy you love. Because what's love? Love is in the spiritual component. It's in the spiritual value. There is not a dollar that has been minted that can make Jada love Will. You understand that? Do you understand she do not love that man? She like him, perhaps. Used to him. 23 years, used to him. She used to him. He familiar to her. See what I'm saying? But there is not a money that has been minted in the United States or abroad that's going to make that woman love him. And you know she don't love him because she don't respect him. Thank you, my love is divine. Says she don't respect him either. That's how you know she don't love him, because she don't respect him. See, when women love men, let me end this off. This is another thing about love under the lost value system and why black women have such a hard time getting love from men. Because men know when you don't love them. Women do not love men that they do not respect. Period. Point blank. End of story. It is what it is. I said what I said. Women do not, cannot, do not, will not love a man that she absolutely does not respect. Because for us, the love of men come first from the respect of him. You understand that? When we start getting past the transaction, when we start getting past the I love what he do for me stage, and I talked about women's love, when we get past that I like what he do for me type situation, and we get on into no, I love him for him, that come out of the respect. I respect this man. That's what it is. I respect this man. This man, he don't play no games. Listen, let me tell you something. He don't play no games. You understand that? He is about his, not only his money. No. He is about his spirit. He is about his health. He is about his family. He is about his appearance. He is about his dwelling. He is about his mobility. He is about his education. He is about his profession. He is about his leisure and his wealth. Thank you, Serenity. He is on it. And I can't do nothing but sit back. And I got to tip my hat. Because this brother he demand respect. He demand it. His very presence demands it. And when we get to that point with him, that's where that real love start coming out of us. That's when it come out of us. If she don't ever get to a point where she look at that man and say, I respect him, she'll never love him. I don't care how many times she said. I don't care how many little Valentines she sent to you. Okay? And I bought him a gift and girl, you don't even like that man. Shut up. Boop, knock that off. You don't even like him. Girl, you talk about that man like a dog when he ain't listening. You done told your mama he ain't no good, no earthly good. You don't bit more love that man than the man on the moon. Girl, if you don't knock it off. I've had to tell some folks that over the course of friendships and lifetime, girl, you don't love that man. What you mean? You can't tell me if I love him because I hear the way you talk about him. You just got through talking to me for the last 15 minutes and everything wrong in the world was his fault. You done told me some stuff about that man. Ain't nowhere in the world I should know. I'm going to struggle to look at that man the same way now. If I ever come around him or get around him, you know what I'm saying? I got to be real customer servicey because I know stuff about this man that I should not know because you ran your mouth. And you ran it disrespectfully to the point where I had to stop you. I had to stop you from talking and talking crazy. I have stopped chicks from talking crazy to me. Stop talking to me about your man like that. Stop talking about your man like that. You don't know what he doing, girl. Some of it ain't my business what he doing. Anyway, you want to talk to your man about something, talk to him about A-game. 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 A-game is a male herbal solution that helps men with their vitality, their strength, their energy, and their libido. So guys, if you want to be part of the A-game family, ladies, you got men and you want them on their A-game, all you got to do is click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com. And you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. All right, so go ahead, click that, get your discount, and get this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. Okay, 5-star product, 5-star service. I want to thank everyone for their super chats, everyone for the cash apps. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.